Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my tipping and blending video and this is kind of a little bit long, but please be patient and stay tuned because I'm going to give you more information than your course DVD supplying you. This is going to be a detailed video but really worth it because after this video you will know every little trick and every little aspect of tipping and blending. So let's start. I'm going to use refit pack and the compatible tips which is supplied in student kits, so it will be the same material what you have right now. Also, I'm going to use number 13 nails because most of the students starting their practicing with number 13 nail because it is referring as an easy nail, but it is not. There is lots of problem about this nail and I'm going to explain everything by one by. The first problem is number 13 nails. When you look from the side, there is a very high apex on this nail. So if you put a tip on this nail, let's assume we're gluing it, your tip is going to stoop like this. So this is looking like an eagle claw. This is not aesthetically good and also not a strong extension. And let me explain you why. Okay, my drawing is not the best, but we will get to the point with this one. So this is a normal nail. The normal nails look very flat when you look from the side. But this is a number 13 nail, which has a very high apex. It will be overreacted a little bit, but the same angle. So when you put a tip on this nail, let's say this is our tip. And we are assuming we are using a good tip, so it is going to be straight like competition tips. Your application is going to give you a very nice flat line from your nail side wall to the extension side wall, right? So this is a very strong extension because when you put your overlay onto this nail, actually it is going to be all one part, right? So this flat line is very important. On the other side, we have a curvy nail. So when you put your tip, it is going to be stoop like this. So if you put your extension on it, okay, it still kind of looks like it is a one piece, right? But definitely it is not a one piece. Let me get another pen. So there is an angle here, which means you have a one straight line in here and another straight line in here. So this is the crack point, the two angles connecting right here. So I'm going to put a line. So this is the first part of your extension and this is the second part of your extension. However, you can see this is a whole part, but you have a very weak point in there. So think about you are bending, for example, a steel wire or steel a little bit. Think about something stick, for example, steel stick or steel wire like this. If it's a one piece, it is really strong. You can hit somewhere and it will stay very nice. But when you have an angle, so you have a weakest point here, when you hit it to wall or some hard surfaces, it will bend really easily and you can get the breakage actually. The same physics is working with the nails. So if you are finishing an extension with stooping nail and a weak point right in here, this nail is very vulnerable, so they can easily break. So my first solution to solve this was actually just destroy the apex, right? So I just file this area a little bit, get rid of the apex and blend this area a little bit kinda, but I find it still you have a very curvy stuff, curvy freehand in here. So the free edge, sorry, very curvy free edge in here. So when you apply your tip, it still stoops. Not too much, but still stoops again, so you cannot achieve the best results. Also, not only think about your trainee hand, you can really have a client like this come to you because of the heavy medications or maybe a chemotherapy can cause this kind of nail problems, and she can come to you and ask for a nail extension, and maybe you are aware that you didn't have any information or maybe just related education for the nail forms. So if you have to deal with the nail tippings, actually I can give you a better solution without filing that up, because you can't do it in the natural life, right? I'm giving you this information because this is not the right one. I tried, failed, and just giving you information, so just don't try it, okay? Okay, this is the finest solution I find for this problem. Either you can taper the sides a little bit coffin and you can decrease actually the stooping, or you can prefer more stiletto almond shape and you can achieve a more flat and strong extension. So let me show you. When you taper the sides a little bit, you will still have a stooping, but it is not the enormous way. So it is more acceptable actually. Again, not the best solution, and I wouldn't do this to my clients, for example, in real life. So I will suggest them, if you like to enjoy, have a more almond shape. And let's see. You see, it is not, it looks like it is stooping, but please let me put my finger here so you can see the background, because there is another whiteness coming from the other side. You see, this is a very straight line, strong line, and I can put a nice overlay on here. It will be very strong and unbreakable if I didn't do any mistakes else too. And it will be a very strong extension, a very strong solution for this problem. So today I'm going to make this almond shape to make you a perfect finish with your blending. Okay, now we check our tip. The first problem about this tip is when you look from the side, it is stooping. Actually, most of the tips on the market is stooping like this. But nowadays, they started to selling very nice competition tips. So they are actually straight finish on the sides. So you can prefer them after your education. When you're working with your clients, they are more helpful. And the second problem about this tip is this is a full well tip, and eventually it covers a lot when you put this on your nail. So let's see in our nail. It is covering more than half of it. So this is a problem, and let me explain you why it is a problem. This is a basic schedule of an tip and overlay application. This is going to be your nail. This is going to represent the nail, the tip, and the overlay. Gel or acrylic doesn't matter. The logic is the same, guys. So I put a line in here because this side of the tip is the free edge, the thick material of the plastic. And this side is actually the translucent part of the tip, which we call it well. And this is covering half of the nail at the moment in this schedule. And I put another line in here to represent and show the bonding agents on the natural nail. Okay, in this side, the nail is contacting with the tip directly in here, and there is only one agent, glue, in this side. Then your overlay is contacting with your tip, not your natural nail. But this side, your nail directly contact with your overlay. So either you can prime, maybe put some bonder. If you do gels, maybe put some base coat. You make all the preparations this side and create a very nice bonding in this side. But in this side, you just put a glue. And what kind of glue? It's a nail glue, right? So if it's not a Gorilla adhesive or something else for furniture adhesive, it is not going to be as strong as it has to be. So we generally finish the tip contact right here. Maybe it can look less than 30%, but it is acceptable too. Why we do this? Because the bonding between your overlay and your nail is really strong. So when you leave the well side, this plastic between your overlay and your nail, you are actually cutting the power. So think about, there is a very nice bonding agent to bonding part, and actually you are putting things like this, and oops, all the bonding just gone. So leaving your well side of the tip actually the same thing, guys. So if you leave your tip very long, you will cutting the power of the bonding between your nail and the overlay. So always shorten your tip, and if available in the future, prefer tips without blending, and they will work actually better. And if you have a chance in the future, I will suggest you to get and form an overlay course. It will actually better sculpture courses. Before starting to shortening my tip with my file, I would like to show you two versions of this. When you shortening your well, actually, if you hold your file with a 90-degree and file it directly straight angle, it will coming out like this. So you will have too much place on the middle, but you will lose your contact point on the sides. On the other hand, I generally bend my file and give it a little bit 45-degree angle approximately, and file it like that. So you will actually have a very natural duplicating smile line in here. So you will have same amount of contact point in every side of this nail. Okay, this is a 80 grit of file. This is a very coarse file to shortening the time also. So if you hold your file directly, it is going very straight. But now I'm going to bend my file. It started coming out with a very nice curve. And I would like to stop it here. I have enough well in here, and again same amount of gap and adhesion area, contact area for me, and this is a very nice finish for my well. Now I'm going to clean this excess. When you are working with adhesives, these are very dangerous material. They can destroy your table very quickly, and you cannot save anything from it. So they are falling down very easily because they are very light. So I generally secure them on the next empty side of my tip box, and they don't fall down and they don't destroy my stuff. One of the common mistakes when you're putting your tip on your nail, after they put the glue and started to pushing the glue and how can I say, pushing it towards to the nail, sometimes they lift a little bit too much, so they lose the contact in the fringe area in here. So be careful about this. Another common mistake when you're tipping your nail is actually putting either less amount of glue or more amount of glue. But my suggestion is also always be aware from putting less amount of glue. Okay, when you put some extra glue, actually it can be solved by wiping the surface and cleaning the glue, but you cannot have a solution for the less glue. So I hope you can see everything very clearly. It actually flowed from everywhere very evenly and covered very nicely, sorry. And now I have support from my index finger to the bottom of the nail, and pressure to the top of the nail with my thumb. And for these empty fingers, I'm going to give a little bit pressure to the sides, because I want this tip is going to contact everywhere perfectly. And now it's dried, I think. I'm going to put some alcohol on this wipe and clear the excess of glue very easily. So there's always solution for extra glue, but there's no solution for the less amount of glue. Because I'm talking and making the application at the same time, I just behave very late, and this residue just dried here a little bit. If you had experienced this problem, you have to be sure that you file and buff these stains very clearly, because otherwise you can see them underneath your application. So the next step is cutting, shaping and blending. As we speak earlier, the nail tip is stooping too much, so I'm going to prefer a very short length to work on. I'm going to use a scissors because I don't like using the tip cutter, but it is all personal preference, so you can prefer something like tip cutter or anything else. Now first I'm going to file the shape and then I'm going to start the blending. But I would like to give you a very nice tip about this filing process. I pull down the finger and take the nail off. Put it here. And voila. Now you can file every angle very easily and you won't get bored while you are practicing. First I'm going to blend the sides and I'm going to use the 100 side of this file, 100 grit. And this is blended enough. Now I'm going to pass to the other side. This is blended enough too. And the flat eye just for now. Now I would like to check this side in here. As you can see, there is a very bad stooping here. And now I'm going to use my 80 grit file. This is very coarse and I will show you the result when you directly make achieve the flat line in here. Okay, I achieve a very nice line. And let's see from the top. Yeah, it is very curving. And let's do the same thing to the other side. Putting a little bit. Sorry. So we have a still very nice straight line in here. So we have a very ovally shape. If you like, you can straight these lines and achieve a coffin shape with this nail, or you can just blend it to the oval. So I'm going to prefer to make it a little bit oval in this video. I will tidy up the shape after I finish everything again because I use only 80 grit file, but it has need to be buffed with the 180 grit too. Okay, now I tidy up the shape roughly, and I'm going to start my blending at this point. First, I'm going to start with the 80 grit file. I know this is a very coarse file, and if you are not feel comfortable for your file skills yet, actually you can prefer 100, 150 or even 180. But when I tell you the actually logic of the blending in this video, I think you will be comfortable even using with the 80 grit file too, because it is all about layering the grits of file. So it will just make the process quicker and really easier for you. So really watch carefully. I will do it very, very slow for you. So first thing is, the aim of the 80 grit file is to take the bulk away. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle, the center part of the nail. So now in here, I really take the bulk of the nail. I just get closer to the natural nail, and if you watch carefully, I didn't file this part. You see this line? I didn't touch there with my file too much. So this is the height. Actually, this is the height. Protect your natural nail contacting with the harsh files. So I use this line as a barrier and put all my strength here and just take the bulk away for me. I am doing the same things to the sides, and that will be enough. Now to the other sides. I take all the bulk from the nail, and even I'm doing very, very slowly, it took just a couple of strokes for me. So now I'm going to use 180 grit side of my file, and I'm going to again keep going to the not starting blending yet, but just keep going to thinning it down. Okay, again I'm going to use the start from the middle side. Now you see it is going somewhere different. So now the line in here is getting actually very thin and very narrow. Sorry, I just hit the camera. I really blend it very nicely right now. I just thin it down very, very nicely. Okay, now I'm going to put some alcohol on a lint-free nail wipe and show you the results. Okay, so with wiping your nail surface when you are making your blending, when you wipe the surface with the alcohol, actually you are going to see the results, how it's going to look after you put your overlay on it, either acrylic or gel, doesn't matter. It is going to look like this. So I'm wiped again, and I can see the actually areas that needs to blending in. With doing this, actually you prevent yourself to going in, especially this line area. Let me show you. Sometimes people going over blending too much and they are losing this point, and eventually it is cracking very easily. So actually you don't need to filing a lot for blending. Actually you have to hit the right point when you are blending. Okay, now I'm going to use my file and blending exactly these points. You see the line here? I'm going to file this area just. if I overfile the middle part of the nail, I will going to lose the tip actually on the nail. So again, watch carefully. I will start to doing again the middle side. You see, I'm contacting with the natural nail too. And let's see. It is just blending very easily. So there is no bulk, there is no thickness. It blended very easily. So you don't need to lose your contact or anything else. Now I'm keep going from the sides. Let me turn the nail a little bit. Put the back. I blended this side too very nicely. Now I'm turning the other side. Now I'm going to blend the natural nail and prepare the natural nail. I overall touched everywhere with the file, and at last I'm going to blend the tip to the free edge side. I never touched this side because there's a very nice thickness in here and I didn't want to destroy it. And that's all. Now I'm going to check the shape and I just try to be sure it's going to blend very nicely. Now I'm going to buff the surface of the nail and I'm going to using my buffer block. Actually it is very small because I cut my buffer blocks because I only use it once for per client and per service and I don't want to waste them. And this is the result of my tipping and blending techniques. I hope you like it. If you're interested, I have a gel overlay video for this nail too. And also, I would like to ask you one question after this video. So, if you are watching this video, probably you are taking an online education which supplies you DVDs and very nice hands like this and practice on, right? Because most of these teas, they don't have the 101 educations, right? So what do you actually think about online educations? Are you happy with them? Do you have any problems? Do you have any suggestions to improve them, or would you like to prefer a 101 education would be a better solution for you? I will really like to hear you about this. And also, please do not hesitate and put your comments and questions about this video if I miss anything or if I just mispronounce the things, pronunciate the things. So if you can understand some techniques, I will really glad to explain it to you. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next videos. Bye bye.